G'day and good morning and welcome to my channel. Today is challenge day. Well, budget bird photography gear challenge day to be exact. What does that mean? Well, today I'm setting myself the challenge that I have to take photos of birds with gear that has a total value of $1,000 US. Why would I want to do this when I've got perfectly good gear available? Well, not everybody starts with the best gear. Not everybody can afford the best gear. We all start with what we can afford, and that is generally fairly budget gear. So today, I'm going to set myself the challenge to take good bird photos with budget gear. The goal of today is to demonstrate that you can take great bird photos with budget gear. You don't need the best gear. You'll often hear people say, you only got that shot because you got good gear, or I can't get that shot because I don't have the best gear. Well, I don't agree with that. Anybody with even budget gear using good technique and some simple tips and rules, you can take great bird photos. So what gear am I going to use? Well, the camera, it's 10 megapixels. It's 13 years old. It has 9 focus points, and ISO 1600 is probably as high as you want to go with it. What is it? Hold on a second. It is the Canon 40D. So this amazing camera is the very first camera I bought, as I mentioned, in 2000. I think I bought it in 2009, but it's a 2007 model. The good thing about this camera, believe it or not, is it actually does have 6.5 frames per second. It has a joystick on the back which allows you to move the focus points around. It uses a CF card, so this will you do just fine, and you can pick this camera up fairly cheap. I think you can probably get it secondhand for $150. So that's the camera we're using today. The most important thing though is the lens, and the lens is probably the hardest purchase you'll make when you're starting out. I know it was for me. And back in 2012, when I was looking for a lens to start off with, I wanted the sharpest, cheapest lens available. So I did lots of research, and what did I come up with? I came up with the Canon 400 5.6. This prime lens, I think the design is over 25 years old. It doesn't have IS. It's very, very basic, but it's super sharp. It's a fantastic birding lens. At the time, I think I paid $1,200 for it new. I think it's probably more expensive now with exchange rates and different things. But you can pick this up secondhand. A really good price would be around $800. And don't be afraid of buying secondhand gear. This is the lens we're going to use today. Blowing the budget on my camera and the lens. So I'm not going to use a tripod. I'm not going to use a flash. And I'm also not going to use anything to attract the birds. So no calls, no food, and no water. I'm just going to go out there with my camera and my lens and take photos of birds. So let's go. Right, so just looking at this scene, we're in this little lake. We've got some pelicans feeding. I can see plenty of coots, and we've also got some white-necked herons. Probably, you always want the sun coming from behind you, so the sun is behind us at the moment. So we want our shadow pointing towards the birds when the sun comes up. Probably need to come here. That's probably where I need to go. So I probably just need to walk around here and lay down here, and we'll see what turns up. But I'm loving the behavior of those pelicans. We'll head over there and see if we can't get some shots. Okay, so I'm definitely closer here, but I need to get down here and I'll lay down. I'm keeping myself as low as I can. Okay, so the sun is just coming up now. I'm waiting for the sun so that we can get those shutter speeds up, because this old camera will struggle at anything higher than ISO 800. So at ISO 800 at the moment, I'm at about 200th of a second shutter speed, which isn't ideal. But I think we're going to get some shots. The sun is definitely coming, so we'll start taking some shots. That noisy bird you can hear is the masked lapwing. Got this coot that's coming towards us. Nice and low, eye contact.
just spotted a spoonbill coming in the light. So we've got a spoonbill that's just started feeding. Beautiful scene. Oh, yeah, we've got a white-necked heron coming into land. So we've got this pelican moving. This bird, here we go. Look at this. This is beautiful. Fantastic. Birds full in the frame. Good background. Buffer's full. This is what we're talking about. This is bird photography here. So we've got the bird. It's close. Nothing too distracting in the background. It's awesome. So it's nice because the bird's walking. So I've got the bird in the left hand side of the frame. So it's got something to walk into. I'm conscious of that. I've got the top focus point on its head. So that I can frame it. It is full frame. I don't have a lot of space. So I'm just waiting for this bird to give us something. I like this bird because it's got this weird red thing on its bill. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it adds interest to the shot. Something different. This is reasonably interesting. We've got the coot, in amongst the weeds, feeding. So we've got two birds which can work. There we go. So it's having a bath. So it might have 6.5 frames per second, but boy does that buffer soon fill up quickly. There's something to be said for just laying here, watching the birds, photographing the birds. You get into this, flow state, I think they call it, where I'm really not thinking about anything else but these birds and photographing them, and you get lost in the moment. And that's what photography is all about. I absolutely love it, to be honest. And if you're not doing it, you need to get out and give it a go. Birds are amazing. Photographing them is amazing. So I'm glad I can bring you along today to experience what I'm going through and trying to get some good shots. So we've got small little black-fronted Dotterels out on the mud. So I'd love to photograph them, but it's going to be a challenge getting close to them. So what I'm going to do is just going to have to crawl out here onto the mud and just lay and wait, and hopefully they come to me. So I'll get crawling and see how we go. These birds are absolutely tiny. Sometimes you just got to lay down and wait, and the birds come to you. So this juvenile's wanting to know what the heck I am, which is fine by me. So I'm just laying here hoping the red-kneed dotterel comes closer. It's another small shorebird, and there's only one that I can see here, but so far it hasn't wanted to come close. But it is moving slightly this way, so fingers crossed we can get some shots of it. It's a cool bird, so it's coming. All right. Well, what a fun morning. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. Took lots of photos, took over 1,000 photos, so hopefully some of them come up well. The challenge, bird photography with gear under $1,000, how did it perform? So the Canon 40D, look, it went all right. The biggest struggle was the focus points are quite wide apart. There's only, I think, 9. And I did have struggle keeping the focus point on the birds, and it would lose focus a bit, so not quite as good as my Canon 5D Mark IV, but that's to be expected. Still locked on and got plenty of shots. The buffer, it's the bane of my existence, the buffer with Canon. I know the new 1DX Mark III's got a buffer of 1,000, but this one's got a buffer of about 10. When the action starts getting good and you're holding down that shutter, it just slows down, and when the buffer gets full, you take one shot. And it's painful because you're missing those shots. So that's one big downside to these old cameras, and the Canons in particular. It's just that buffer. It's terrible. So those are the main things. Could have been closer with the small birds. Yeah. So the only other issue is with any prime lens. With those Pelicans, they were just too big in the frame, and when the Spoonbills were getting close, too big. That's where that 100 to 400 just excels. And look, I'll try and get a hold of that copy of those zoom lenses, and we'll see how they perform in regards to these primes. Hopefully, as you saw today,
you know, just some simple techniques. So having the sun coming over my shoulder, getting low, you know, focusing obviously on the bird, being aware of the background, just following these simple steps and getting out there in the best light. So first thing in the morning, last thing in the evening, you're going to get some good shots, and it's just so much fun. And you know, I really highly suggest you get out there and have a go to your local park and just have fun photographing the birds. You've got to prepare to get dirty. Look at the state of me, covered in mud. The wife's just going to love me when I get home, that's for sure. But hey, you've got to do it. You've got to get down low to get those good shots, you know, and be prepared to get yourself dirty. That's part of the fun. So I'd love to know how you thought I went with this challenge. Did I pass it? You know, hopefully I did. Hopefully I demonstrated, you know, we can get some good shots. Let me know in the comments below which your favourite shot was, and perhaps if you want me to do some more of these challenges, let me know what type of challenge. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this content, please subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I really appreciate the support. I'm having fun, and hopefully I can continue to bring you this sort of content. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.